Good morning. Welcome back for another training game. Looks like I get the black pieces here. Um, let's go knight f6. Okay. Back to a Grunfeld. The knight f3 lines. Okay. So where previously white chose to take and push in the center and give me this exchange and have a big center, white's now just going to maintain the tension. He's going to block in this bishop. Going to go for a little bit more of a positional approach. Maybe I don't know if it's really more, but like the other method is quite positional, going for the big center. Well, so he's moved his bishop now. I can take here and force him to move his bishop a second time, gain a small tempo. That puts his bishop over here on this c4 square. If I could gain another tempo by attacking it again, I would think about it. But I think the move here is c5 still. So this seemingly hangs the pawn. It's undefended there. But if takes, I just have queen a5, and I'm gonna win the pawn back. And if he takes here, trying to maintain the material, I've got rook d8 pinning to the queen. So I think this is my move. I think this is my move to stay in Grunfeld lines. I could have gone c6 and gone into some Schlechter-Slav lines, but those are really I only enjoy playing those against white's fianchettoed setup. If he fianchettos his light square bishop over here in Catalan type setups, this Schlechter-Slav is a little more preferable. So he doesn't take my c-pawn. So I think I want to take. I don't have to take immediately. If I develop the knight first, he takes. My idea now doesn't quite work, does it? He takes on the d file. I pin the pawn. He moves the queen. I take. Takes. He takes. Yeah, I think it still works. I think it still works. Something I've noticed watching these videos back is my calculation gets a bit lazy, and I'm going to try and do better about that. That coming to a point where, yeah, I think it works. I do that pretty frequently when I have difficulty finding a continuation. Yeah, probably works. And I go for it. And sometimes it pays off and sometimes it does not. So I've been working very hard on my visualization and calculation skills. So he's putting an extra piece on this knight. Can defend. It's also attacking this b7 pawn. I can trade knights, which I'm okay with. I think simply trading. What else do I have for ideas? I don't have this, and he just kicks it, and I end up going back. That's not a good development. Knight here blocks this line, but we give up the pawn. and I don't have an immediate way to win it back. So I'm going to have to move this knight again. That's just tying my shoes together. So I think I want to take and trade in the center. And similar to my last Grunfeld that I posted, I'm going to have a 2-on-1 queenside pawn majority. So strategically, from here on out, I am okay trading down pieces and going to an endgame because he has a central pawn majority, 2-on-1 in the center. But my king is faster getting to his majority than his king is getting to my majority. I want to develop this bishop, but this pawn hangs. So I think maybe just b6 with ideas of bishop b7 and rook c8. So with a double fianchetto setup. I really like this square for my bishop as well. Bishop f5 eyes the c2 square. With an open c file, that's a very nice geometric uh, solution. You know, it allows the rook to get to the second rank very quickly. Keeps his rook off of the b1 square, but I do have to solve this problem of the pawn first. So I think I push it, and I don't have to develop here. I can still go here. My knight's hanging at the moment. So you can choose to attack it. I might have to move it or defend it. You can defend it here. That's an interesting placement for the bishop. He's attacking this e7 square. Which is currently defended by the queen and knight. The knight wants to move. It's pinning the pawn to the rook. I think that's a superficial threat. I don't see the point in that right now. There's nowhere for the bishop to go. It's attacking this, but that threat's easily going to be parried because I'll just move the rook and then threaten to push the pawn. So my knight's still hanging. I'm going to bring a rook to c8. If I move this rook to defend this pawn, he's got this pin at the moment. Okay. So he's got pressure on my knight. I can defend it with rook c8. I can move the knight, knight a5. Attacking the queen. Queen comes to b4 and threatens this pawn, which is only defended once now. And if I move the rook to add a second defender, he goes bishop to b5, attacking the rook. I'm forced back with the bishop. Which isn't the end of the world. It still holds everything together. But not ideal. Maybe it's what I have to do, but if I just defend, if I go rook here, rook to c8, and then bishop to b5, do I have another defense? I can defend the bishop with the bishop here. He goes uh, knight to g5. I bring the bishop back and attack the queen. Queen doesn't have that square because the knight's attacking it. The bishop's occupying this square, so he can bring the queen here to a4 and add another attacker. And we calculate that again. Rook c8, bishop b5, bishop e4, knight g5, bishop d5, queen a4. Attacked 3 times and only defended twice. So the queen has to defend. Takes, 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 takes. The queen's defending this pawn. It'd be easy just to attack the queen, and I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe this move was a mistake. Hmm. Taking a long time on this move because this feels like a critical moment in the game. Um, this really feels like a crucial moment, and I don't want to blunder positionally or tactically. But eventually you got to do your business. You've got to make a choice and stick with it. So rook c8 it is. Spent a long time on that move. Over 5 minutes on that move. Okay. And I knew that was coming, so shouldn't waste any more time. He's not forced to come here. He can go backwards, yeah. Okay. And now that's a better move that I should have seen because it supports this push. And knight here. I like that better than pinning the queen. See, I think I just mentioned this earlier in the video, how I spend all that time calculating and then I just, oh, this looks good. Let's play this move. Um, I just saw this like in this sequence and I went for it. It may be the best move. It may be, but it doesn't look like it anymore because he can trade rooks, drop this pawn, and I guess he gives up this pawn. No, once the bishop moves, the queen's defending it. So bishop takes, and the rook has nowhere to go. I'm going to lose the exchange. That's where not following through with your calculation will get you. I'm going to lose the exchange by force here. Not the end of the world still. I can play down the exchange in this position, particularly with the bishop pair. The bishop pair can do quite well versus the two rooks. I feel like white has an edge here now, though. Rook takes rook, queen takes, bishop takes e7. And I go queen here, queen c3. It's an intermezzo to bishop takes rook, bishop takes bishop. Knight b3 maybe, or knight f3. Well, I'm not going to trade off my bishop for the knight here because my bishop pair is my compensation for the exchange. He's got all the time in the world to think because I used so much time on those last couple of moves and ended up calculating poorly anyway. So rook takes, queen takes, bishop takes. I think queen c3 might be my only idea. And I need to look at the whole board here. There's queen g4 threatening mate in one. That's an idea. Had to plug my computer in real quick. He doesn't go for the trade. He does not take the pawn. Threatens the knight. So the bishop, the queen, and the rook defend the c4 square. I've only got The rook and the bishop, if I move the knight there, that's not enough defense. I could take the knight. Pawn takes. And this pawn is hanging. I can't use a whole lot of time here. I need to play. Got to move. I have to take. If I allowed him to take and I had to take back with the pawn, I have doubled my my pawns on the queen side, and I kind of lose that queen side pawn majority advantage. So I can trade rooks, give him the c file, and open up. I could go here and defend. That seems reasonable. Defend this pawn. Defend this pawn. If rook takes, queen takes, rook c1, queen b7, threatening g2. Might allow bishop a6. Really love to be able to push this pawn. I need to be prepared to give up the exchange if I do. I think I've sufficiently stopped this idea, though. So how does he continue? What are White's plans now? I mean, he can trade rooks. I take back with the queen. He brings the rook to c1. And I'm forced to c7 to maintain my defense. b7, not c7, b7. That does allow bishop a6, threatening the queen. Queen b8, protecting this, giving this one up. Bishop takes. But now the rook can come here because the queen is the only thing there. Not the queen and bishop. He brings the bishop back, attacking. But this bishop has to retreat first. So bishop back. If I move the rook off of the back rank, he's got rook c8 supported by the bishop, and the king and queen are forked. So that's a bad deal. I think he trades rooks. That's what looks like the most reasonable thing to do. Takes, rook c1. Where does the queen go? What if I drop back here immediately and don't give him this tempo move? I just go takes, rook c1, queen b8. give this pawn up immediately. I don't have this square for the rook, but I do have this one. Takes, takes. Oh, okay. What's that about? If he takes the pawn, I take with the queen, my rook is hanging. He wins the exchange, which he could have done already. If I take the bishop, he takes with his rook. I take with my rook. He takes with his queen. Hmm. 2 minutes and 45 seconds. I can't defend here without giving up the exchange. I may have to give up the exchange. I may just have to content myself with giving up the exchange and trying to make this 2-on-1 work. I do have this, though, after the fact. I don't have to trade rooks. I can trade once and then move rook to e8 and prepare this push. Gives him the opportunity to stack rooks. Then I trade rooks. But I've got an active dark square bishop in that. So I think that's a better option. So he takes, I don't take back. I go rook e8. He goes rook f to c1. Rook takes rook. And probably queen takes rook. No, rook takes rook. Leaves this hanging. I can counterattack in the center. And if he takes, I take, he takes, I take, he takes. So I've negated his central pawn majority. I've given him split pawns. He's wiped up my queenside pawn majority, and he has a single isolated passer, which could be dangerous. He's won a pawn in that situation. So I think this is what I got to do. I can take a moment to push this. No, the rook attacks this. It'll be defenseless. Maybe swing my queen over to protect it. I'm going to be careful about hanging this. The queen will have to stay on the back rank. Whew. I mean, this is a natural move. Rook f to c1. You're threatening to win a rook. I don't have to exchange. Yeah, I do. I do have to exchange. Because if I don't, I just go down rook. Yeah. No need to waste a lot of time thinking about that. He takes with the queen. Okay, so this pawn is not a concern immediately. I can push here. Then he can push d5 and have a passer. Maybe I don't block my own pawn. Maybe I just go e6. Prevent him from pushing. Yeah. Keeps my pawns on light squares. He doesn't get to push and create a passed pawn. So he can trade queens over here, get his rook to the 7th, and cause me some problems. Don't have a lot of mobility with my king. What if I trade bishops? What if I just ask him if he wants to trade a bishops? Oh, I don't have much time. Minute 27. I got. That was probably hasty. But I need a little breathing space for my king, so I'm going to make it work. He doesn't have any useful checks. Okay, so he's attacking. If I lift the rook, he's got this. I take, he takes with check. I come up. That seems to work. He's threatening this at the moment, and I need to defend it. So I need to defend it that way. We can trade queens if we want to. My rook will end up on the 2nd, defending all of my back pawns. If he wants to do that trade. He could go queen to c8. And then a trade. My rook's still on the 2nd. I can bring the king up. And I've still got my 2-on-1 over here. So I like it. I've got breathing room now. He doesn't want to trade. No trade. No tradesies. All right. Just get on the half-open file. Give our rook a little more scope. Can't spend a whole lot of time thinking about moves, which is kind of a problem I have in the end game. So he's come all the way down here. I'm going to threaten this. Threaten to win the pawn. He takes, I take back. Okay, he's threatened my backwards pawn. I'm going to protect it with the queen. If he takes my queen, I take back and protect my pawn. But if he does nothing, I'm not really threatening to take his queen because I'm giving him a passer. Hanging my own piece. Do I have this though? Do I have a5? Takes, hangs his queen, pushes. I'm back in time to block. So no takes. A5. Okay. I get 15 seconds per move, so, or 10. I get 10 seconds per move. So, deep breaths. Minute 30 is not as bad as it seems. I just gotta move. I can't spend a lot of time in deep calculation. Okay, so he's gonna come here and threaten this. Can I take? No, I can't take here now either because that hangs my queen. Don't hang your queen. Can I go here? Takes. Queen takes. Rook takes. No, I can't do that either. Oh, let's push a pawn. Let's push the kingside pawns and make that a little bit more advanced. Take some space over there. Punt. That's what that was a punt. Give him the move, see what he's going to do. Give me more time to calculate. Okay. But I want to be careful about pushing this pawn because that creates forced trades and weaknesses over here. So I think I just want to tuck my king up here. Creates a pin. My king back down here. A little closer to the action. There is there's still that. But I can block. Okay. Can block. My queen's defended now. So can I do this? I think I can. No, I don't have the block anymore. I think I'll have to bring my king here, give up this pawn, and hope that I can run with this one. So he can force a trade. His rook will end up here. He'll win this pawn back. So we've traded pawns. My rook will be in front of my passer. He's going to potentially win this one unless I come back here. I'll have to defend this pawn with the king. Minute 6. He didn't see this idea, so okay. He's just going to give me the pawn. So back. Great queens. And now his rook is kept out of the back rank forever. He moves his king forward. I've got this pawn. Now I've got 2 passed pawns. All right. This should be a win. His rook is attacked. He's got to do something to defend his rook. Okay. All right. Can't stop me from queening. Good game, fella. That was a messy game, and I took lots and lots of time on calculation that did not look like it panned out very well. Let's see what the chess.com computer has to say about that. White definitely had a winning edge at one point. Book line, okay. Knight development. It says it's a good move. I was questioning that move. What is the book line here? Just take. Take in the center. Okay. Doesn't believe he should have taken. It's an inaccurate move. Still a relatively equal game, but black has a slight edge. Knight takes is my best move. Another questionable move from white. That is a mistake. I should not have taken. So let's retry. I want to see what our idea is here. The knight is hanging. So we probably just defend it. This is defended by the bishop. Just simply defend. E6 is a blunder. Big mistake. Loses a pawn. This pawn. Okay. Retry again. Oh. No. Can't take now. This knight is hanging. I did not like this move when I was calculating it in the game. And this move was not any better. Bishop here. And then it just runs into bishop here. Tell me it's not that move. Does that lose a pawn too? It does lose a pawn. Well, what is the best move? Yeah, it is bishop there. Bishop to e6. What an interesting idea. So what happens here? I attack the queen. Okay. It's easy to see at the moment when it's on the board, but visualizing this in your head is pretty difficult. So for me, at least, I need more practice at it. What about queen takes? Queen takes and still bishop or knight. No, it doesn't like that as much. It's equal-ish, not a terrible move. Huh. Get back on my Grunfeld theory. I love this opening. It has been one of my favorites for a very long time. But I've shied away from it because I was feeling rather stale. I wasn't getting enough out of the positions. This turned out to be a very good move. I questioned this move in game, but the computer says it's the best move. And I see why now. It gave me all sorts of problems with this rook development. So I underestimated that one. And that was a questionable. I should have probably just developed the bishop there. Also an inaccuracy. Well, then my other option is to fianchetto. Best or excellent. It's an excellent move. What's the best move? Attack the queen. I do that. That's a move I play frequently. So I don't know why I didn't think of it. Didn't like that move or that move. All sorts of errors here. That allows me to trade off the knight. That was a mistake. I am definitely worse here. I'm down 1.1. And it has to do with this bishop development here, applying all this pressure. I did underestimate that move, and I should have looked for it. Blunder. Of course that's a blunder. That hangs the rook. Just rook takes rook. Queen can't take because this rook hangs. That is just a flat out blunder, and I can't believe I didn't see that in game. And neither did my opponent. So, whoops. Whoopsie. Simple tactic, deflection of the queen. Both of us missed it. So I'm going to practice some tactics after this just to make myself feel a little better. Never give up on practicing your tactical drills because you've got to be able to see them in game. Wow. And that was obviously a miss because of the free piece. Okay, I liked the bishop trade. Things are looking pretty equal here. Dead equal. Dead draw. I just punted. I did that H5 move just to give him the move, and the computer is applauding me for it. That's a good feeling. It was a panic move. That's an error because that's a miss. Okay. Swing and a miss. Let's retry this move and see what. It's still a dead draw. I don't have a winning position here. So I wonder why it's calling it a miss. Should I trade queens and just get the pieces off the board? I hate how chess.com does that. Like until you make the move, like once I took the queen there, I go to a 1.6 advantage. The computer should be able to see that in this position, and it does now that I've made the move. But a second ago, dead draw. Dead draw. Should have taken the queen. So this is a miss. And now I'm winning. 3.7. I'm just winning because I've picked up the pawn. I have two passed pawns. And I'm going to trade material. Okay. Well, thank you for watching. Come back and watch some more chess.